so much for taking this time to interview. So the first question is, why are you running for school board?
I'm running for school board because it's been my hobby for the past 10 years. That's what I like to do, to go to school board meetings. I go pretty much every month. I believe in education, and that's just been my passion and my focus.
In what ways have you been in service to the Cañada community, and what previous experience do you have that can help you prepare for this job?
Okay, so the biggest recent service I've done is to go to school board meetings and ask questions and inform the public about what's going on, and then also bring in their diverse set of ideas to the board when I go. That's sort of the biggest thing I do. I've done some other little things, like I 3D printed and assembled face shields and brought them over to 12 Oaks. And then I just spent a lot of time with parents, helping guide them through classes at, in La Cañada, or college admissions, or special accommodations kind of advice. It's very individual that I've done. That's the most I've done.
Can you describe your 3 top objectives you would do if you were elected to the school board?
So unfortunately, the school board members don't have infinite power. I would work very hard for consistent enforcement of existing board policies, and especially in the area of teacher accountability. I really want our teachers to provide feedback to our students in a timely manner, like a graded test before the next test, written comments on essays, things like that. I've been very consistent in pushing through for those things over the years. And I think I would just work towards more clear communication with the public, improving, things as simple as improving PowerPoint graphics to make them a little better and more clear in what the message they're trying to send.
What is your perspective on the efficiency of the distance learning education the district has embraced in the past few months?
So recently I'm hearing that it's pretty good for some students. Back in March it was a little haphazard, but I'm hearing a lot of positive feedback right now, and I think that's because of Jamie Lusatter and her tech department and the district's vision in hiring her and giving her an entire department years before the pandemic, and because of that we were ready, and I think that's really important. The other part of that is that I don't think it's working for everybody. There are kids who cannot sit in front of a computer, maybe for special needs or ADHD reasons, and those kids are not getting the education they need or deserve, and I would like them to be able to get that. And so I think they need special accommodations during this pandemic that actually provide education to them, because I don't think every kid is getting equitable education.
Describe how you would provide quality education for our diverse student population, so the gifted, the talented, the average student, special education, the academically challenged, English as a second language, and cultural differences.
Okay, I'll start with gifted and talented. So in the elementary schools, we have a very small program. I would love to see it expanded. And then at the high school, our students get to choose their classes. They can choose to take honors classes, they can choose to take AP classes or not. And I think that really helps to address that need. In terms of ESL, I believe in integrated classrooms as much as possible. I can't imagine what it would be like if I was stuck sitting in a all-Korean classroom. I wouldn't get anything out of it. But I think if kids have just a little bit of basis of the English language, I would rather see them included so that they can rapidly build their skills. Most families I know, the kids already can speak quite a bit of English. I was stunned on the first day of kindergarten when I came here and the kids spoke English and the parents did not. And yet in South Pass, for the same kindergarten year, there were 5 kids in my son's class who didn't have any English skills. So the kids who come to La Cañada seem to come with stronger English from the start. I miss special education. I absolutely support special education. I want them to be included whenever possible, and I want them to have appropriate accommodations, which is, like if they have fine motor skill problems, that they're allowed to type instead of handwrite, which is good for the teacher because then the teacher can actually read it. And there's a few other accommodations that I think special ed kids need just to even the playing field a little bit.
What do you think of the DEI proposals, and what impact, if any, will these have on the Asian American students at the high school?
At one point we did have a teacher at the district that was a little racist, or a lot racist, and she made comments about Jewish people, and at the time we didn't know what else they did, but she also mimicked Koreans, and I'm sure students do the same thing. And so what I mean, in terms of Asians, what I see is that the DEI proposal will help cut down on the harassment and the bullying and the making fun of, which I think works for every subgroup of kids, not just Asians. In terms of how it would impact them in a broader sense than that, I would almost say not much. I mean, it would make, I think all of us have something to learn about our own biases, and I have to admit I have biases. So I have a lot to learn myself. I assume that other people do. Maybe that's presumptuous of me. In terms of what Asians, or what I think is important, I think it's not going to affect their education, their ability to learn math or English. I think that's going to stay the same. I think their chances of going to college will stay exactly the same. And so I don't see it having a big impact at all, except for the harassment part. I think it'll be a big impact there.
So far, who has endorsed you or your campaign?
A lot of random people have endorsed me. They have different last names that span a lot of different nationalities. I submitted a questionnaire to the La Cañada Black Lives Matters group, and they liked me, and I definitely am not that liberal, so I don't quite understand it. I believe that everybody should be treated respectfully on the campus, and I think that's the message they liked. There's also another organization called La Cañada Alumni for Anti-Racist Education, and I believe that they also like me. That was an interview, and so everybody can listen to my answers there. So I certainly didn't win their endorsement by my fabulous public speaking skills. I think it was just my honesty and the fact that I don't know everything, and that I am willing to say I don't know, and that I listen to people.
One last question. What would you say to the kids entering the new school system during a pandemic?
In some ways this sucks, especially those who are like seniors who expected their prom and everything, but in other ways this is just going to make you so much stronger. You're learning skills that are directly applicable to the work environment before and during pandemics, and those will transfer. You're going to have some great stories to say in your kids, which is fantastic. And I think we're going to get through this social isolation period. I think we're going to, maybe it'll take a year, maybe it'll take 2, but we will be able to see our friends again, and I think that's important to know that that's coming in the horizon.